Hello and welcome to episode 166 of Gamers of the Lost Spark podcast. I'm your host, Antony, and joining me this week, it's the other Spark on the pod, the only man who is foolish enough to spend 2 hours queuing with me. It's Mr. Stuart Burgess.
It was a well worth queue, and thank you and good evening.
Oh,
it was a brilliant queue.
That was a good queue. How are you doing, sir? How are you doing?
I am very, very good. Yes, I am. I'm good. You know, overworked, underpaid. You know, like always. But
you should give yourself a raise.
Oh yeah, I know I should. Yeah, the problem is customers have to pay the bills. Yeah, no, I'm good. Good. Yeah, a bit sore. Did the marathon a couple of weeks ago, so still a bit sore from that, which is slightly annoying me because I can't really sort of get back into my running, and I'm missing it at the moment. So,
right.
But it's enabled me to spend a day out with you guys and play some games to talk about on our lovely pod.
Yes, indeed. We'll get to EGX in a mo. And so, how was the marathon? What was your time? And so, this was your very first marathon, wasn't it? And this was the Bournemouth one.
Yeah. So it all sort of started a little while ago in respects of I got back into running again, and I'm the type of person where if I have a plan to follow, so if a piece of software emails me in the morning and says, right, today Stuart, you've got to go and run 6 miles or 16 miles or whatever, then I'll do it. Where if it's left up to me to do it, sometimes I'll be like, nah, I can't be bothered, I'll make an excuse. So I started following a training program for a marathon, and what I was going to do, this was 18, well, up until the marathon, I think it was actually about 22 weeks, I think,
right.
I had, but the plan was 18 weeks long. And I was going to do a half marathon in Tunbridge, near you, and then a friend of mine said, why don't you come to the Bournemouth Marathon? Because you're doing London next year for charity, it'll be good to get a marathon under your belt.
Yeah.
So that was the precursor to going to the Bournemouth Marathon. So it was it was hard. It was emotional. I've never felt like crying at the end of a run before. It really it's hard to describe, but it took me just over 5 hours.
Right.
I had a bit of a unfortunately about 3 months ago now, I twisted my leg or twisted my ankle at work. And annoyingly, about mile 20, I think it was, that sort of pain came back in my leg.
Right.
So I had to do 6 miles where I was running on basically really bad shin splints. If anybody's ever had them, they know how bad they are. And also it was also the course is a Bournemouth Marathon is very. It plays with your mind because you sort of run down from up on the hilly bit, and then although you're running towards the finish, you're running away from the pier where you know the finish line is. So technically you're running away, but you're running towards. So it sort of really played with your mind. But I'm really glad I did it. I set myself a time of 5 hours because I didn't know what to expect. I could do a half in just under 2 hours, so I thought I'll give myself an hour, 2 half marathons and an hour gap. And so it wasn't about the time, but it was about picking up the bling at the end of it, the new shiny, and getting that first one under my belt. So it was good. It was good, very, very good. I'd recommend anybody does it. Ish.
Thanks. I'll take that recommendation. No, but congratulations, well done. Well done. So when's the London Marathon? Is that April?
Yeah. So London Marathon is the 26th of April,
right.
I think. So basically starting next month as part of my sort of Road to London 2020 sort of charity thing, I'm doing a half marathon every month and then doing the London Marathon next April. So I've got my next charity sort of races on the 6th of November, I think, which is a poppy marathon, so it's down in Bexhill-on-Sea, and it's in obviously to do with Remembrance Sunday and things like that. So that's on Saturday the 9th. So that's my next half marathon. Right. So I'm just hoping I will run it, but I'm just hoping my legs are a little bit better because they're being quite painful at the moment. I'm going out with so many bits of KT tape, which is like the tape you sometimes see athletes wear on their legs. I'm going out with so much of that on me just recently. You can hardly see my skin on my legs through my shorts. But no, it's fun. It's fun. It's really. What about you? What have you been up to? Anything exciting?
Well, no, I mean, apart from EGX that we'll get to at the moment, I mean, nothing. I mean, I can't compete with a marathon. I really haven't run a marathon. I tell you, but I guess one of the big things that happened this week was the new Star Wars trailer dropped yesterday. So we go from marathons to a Star Wars trailer. Have you seen the new trailer for the Rise of Skywalker?
No, I'm sort of sitting on the fence with it because I want to watch it, and I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Yes.
And I've seen people post it on Facebook and say I'm definitely excited now.
Mm-hmm.
But then I keep on getting Antony talking in my head about I'm not watching the trailer. It might give away too much.
Right.
So I haven't as of yet, but I want to.
Right, I mean, well, this trailer, because it was so funny. I woke up early, just because I needed to go to the bathroom. So I woke up early. I looked at my phone to see what time it was, and there was a little notification from my Star Wars app saying the Rise of Skywalker trailer is here. So I kind of crept downstairs, grabbed my headphones on the way down, went downstairs. I thought, I'm not watching this on my phone. I'm going downstairs to the movie room. I'm going to put my headphones on, and I'm going to watch this on a 65. So I just sat there and I watched it, and I watched it again, and I watched it a couple of times, and it was just it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, this had me so excited. I showed Nicola when she woke up and she'd showered and everything. I showed Nicola, and I just was like, just watch this. And I've watched it possibly 2 more times after that, so probably 5 in total. But with this trailer, I will say that the trailer, because this is the first big trailer. The last trailer that we had was amazing, and it kind of hit me in all the right places, because it had, everyone that was it showed the people that were there, which was great. Showed that JJ was back, because it instantly felt like a JJ movie. It instantly felt like Force Awakens, so which is always a good thing. And but it didn't give me enough. So this trailer just doesn't give anything away. I could not tell you what is going to happen in the Rise of Skywalker by seeing this, but I do know I just had a load of awesome Star Wars thrown in my face, and I was just sitting there going, oh my god, there's this one image where you see the Millennium Falcon amongst a whole band of ships, and someone on a WhatsApp group I was in actually kind of sent me a link just to say, here's all of the ships that are in that shot, and someone had recognized them, gone circled them and gone, this is the Ghost from Clone Wars, this is and I was just like, wow. And I thought I was a nerd, but it was just, there's some really good shots in there, there's some absolutely fantastic things, and I cannot wait. So 19th of December this comes out. I've booked my tickets already. Showcase Cinema. Oh, really? Showcase Cinema this time actually came through, and because at the end of the trailer it says book your tickets now, and that was the whole point of this trailer, just to say that you can now get your tickets. There'll probably be late November, you can bet your bottom dollar there'll be another one, but I'm not watching that now, because that will be more kind of spoilerific. I kind of feel that that's going to be. Yeah. But this really didn't give away. One thing that I would say was there's a shot in this trailer which shows it shows a throne. So it shows a throne, kind of just in the middle of this big open space, and it is a shot for shot of Ralph McQuarrie's original 1981 drawing for Empire Strikes Back. In Empire Strikes Back, they showed this throne room, the Emperor's throne room, and it was a drawing. And what they put in the movie, obviously what we got in Return of the Jedi was not that. He was on board the Death Star. And this is kind of a throwback to that. And when I saw that, I was just like, that's just incredible, that we're getting the people that read that book, The Art of Star Wars, the people that were making stories up in the playground in the 80s are now making movies, and that's what JJ is, and that's what JJ Abrams is, and it was just amazing. But I was saying to a guy at work, I was saying that, back in 1984, when I saw Empire Strikes Back or saw Return of the Jedi, I kind of came away, I was like, how did they do that? How did they make this movie? Seeing some of the scenes in this trailer, I'm like, how did they make this movie? CGI is just so amazing right now that this just looks cinematically stunning, and I cannot wait. So 19th of December, I've got my seats with my arse groove in. I'm ready to roll. And I just can't.
I'm just looking at Odeon's website for Leicester Square, and Yeah, is it out the 19th?
19th of December. Showcase Blue Water. Yeah. They actually have a midnight showing, and they have a triple bill. So they have Force Awakens, Last Jedi, where you can have a nice little sleep, and then you go into like 12:01, and you get to see the Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, they've got that here as well. Yeah, they've got Star Wars triple bill Wednesday the 18th at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yes.
Yeah. But then the first showing is 5:15 in the morning on Thursday.
Wow, God, that is amazing. Imagine I could go to that before work. I could, if the movie's good. I guess I'm off then until that. I mean, that's the start of my Christmas holiday. My last day at work is the 18th of December, so my first day is that. That's my first day off. So I'm just like, I'm very excited.
What better way to finish work? You
exactly.
can finish work on the 18th, walk around to Leicester Square, and sit in a comfy chair from 6 o'clock in the evening eating popcorn.
Yep, fall asleep during Last Jedi. Set my alarm for 11:45. I'll be sorted. But it looks incredible. I would say that if you, it doesn't give anything away. If you want to just kind of see what the tone of this movie is like, then that's it. It plays the Star Wars theme in an incredible way. But I was just like, I was quite excited about it, and I cannot wait. I still part of me is quite sad that they're saying that this is the end of a saga, because these are movies that I've grown up with. These are movies that I've kind of had all my life, and if I can't, looking at the characters, we've got Rey, Finn, Poe, I really, and the others that are kind of the extra characters they're bringing in, I really can't see them saying goodbye to those, in this movie. I'm just very surprised.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's almost like I don't know whether they're saying goodbye to the history or to the C-3PO, R2-D2 sort of those characters, and then it will carry on with Finn and Rey and all that lot, but. I know what you mean, because it's 3 movies. I mean, how most films would love to get a 3-movie run, but I mean, we were saying, and again we'll get onto it. EGX, we were saying on the way out to EGX about I was listening to a pod and they were going through everything that was at D23, which is Disney's conference for anybody who doesn't know, and just the stuff that they've got coming out on Disney Plus is just phenomenal. You just think about where they're pulling all this new content from, and all the original content, and and all the new Star Wars stuff they're talking about, and how it's fitting in with the Star Wars universe in the timeline and all this lot. And it's just like it's going to be amazing over the next 5 years to see what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as time of podding, we're 3 weeks away from The Mandalorian being on the screen, for episode 1. And by all accounts, some critics they've been to see a 25-minute screening, the first 25 minutes, and it's getting kind of, it's getting good hype, it's getting good buzz, that people are like, yeah, we've seen the first 25 minutes, and this is something. I mean, I'm expecting something special, just to kind of sit there for an hour, 46 minutes, whatever it's going to be. It's on the streaming service, so it doesn't need to be 46 minutes because there won't be adverts, so they can do, a nice long hour. They can do whatever they want, So I'm expecting to just sit down and really kind of get some real nerdy Star Wars thrown at you, So
two things then. Is it episodic? So are they knocking out one a week, or are they just knocking the whole lot out at once?
It's going to be episodic. It's going to be it's not dropping. The Mandalorian doesn't just drop like 10 episodes all at once. It's going to be one a week.
And are we getting it over here? Because I know Disney Plus is scheduled January at the moment, isn't it?
Well, I haven't heard any dates for Disney Plus in the UK yet, so I kind of the only dates I've heard is like the US, and I think there's Netherlands or somewhere like that has it already. Yeah. But Disney Plus have signed a deal with Amazon Prime that they will be distributing their new shows, not the entire content, but they will be distributing new shows like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Some of the Marvel stuff will be distributed via Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, hopefully then at least we'll be able to watch it without having to go through shady BitTorrent sites to try and find it.
Yeah, so I don't know whether this is going to be day and date, as in the 21 days from now. I don't know if it's going to be day and date, but it's definitely going to be on this. Like right now, I noticed, I was having a look through Amazon Prime the other day, and I noticed that Swamp Thing is on Amazon Prime, and that was on the DC streaming app. So that was on there, and Titans is on Netflix.
Okay.
But yeah, so where they haven't got distribution rights in this UK, in the UK, they just kind of choose other platforms. But I had heard that they'd signed a deal with Amazon Prime, or Amazon to distribute on Amazon Prime to the territories that they haven't got to yet.
I nearly signed up, because when they were doing their exclusive sort of like really, really cheap 3-year deal, I nearly tried to see if I could just sign up with that via a VPN, to say I was in the States, and then use my prepaid US dollar card that I used to buy my American movies on for our movie server. But by the time I got round to it, that stupid offer had gone,
right?
And I just sat there and went, if I do it that way, does that mean I'm going to have to get another Apple TV, and that Apple TV has I have to make that with an American account, and I just sort of thought, no, if I have to wait till January, I have to wait till January. If I get it on another means, I'll get it on another means. So, but I did sort of think about it. But I'm definitely getting Disney Plus. I mean, just the fact that I can go back and watch the old episodes of DuckTales makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a fantastic. It's in Canada and America, kind of day one. I'm just so surprised. I mean, obviously we know why, because they just need to. I think it was like someone was telling me they haven't got enough UK content, and in order to be a streaming service in this country, you need to have a percentage of UK content, and it has to be UK filmed content. But just a Star Wars movie, surely.
Star Wars,
it's just like all of them were filmed in Elstree. They're all kind of there. So that was the Star Wars trailer. And it was just like I say, it was yesterday, and I was just anyone I spoke to in the morning at work, like a meeting. I was like, the first bit of the meeting was, "Did you see the new Star Wars trailer?" Because it was very cool. It was very cool.
Well, I'll have to once I've downed my headphones tonight and opened a beer up, I will fire it up and have a watch.
It's well worth it. And then tease at the top of the show, we went to EGX. So we went to EGX Eurogamer. We popped along on Friday, caught up with Manny, Matt, James, Wee Man. I'm not missing anyone, am I? No, just me and you. And it was really good. It was really good. But as we teased at the front, I think the big ticket item, one of the big ticket items, especially for you and I, is we queued for 2 hours and change. So we got there, we got the early bird ticket. The guys hadn't turned up because they were coming from Cheltenham. We were coming from Tom Wells, and they hadn't turned up. So we went and queued, we went and stood in the queue, for the Virgin Media queue to get our hands on Marvel Avengers. Little did we know, just thinking the signs were wrong, that it was like 2 hours from here. We're like, this is never going to take 2 hours.
Whatever.
But it was. I mean, it was 2 hours because they gave you a real decent chunk of gameplay. So when you were...
I was very impressed. I mean, when we were standing outside, and I think we started queuing about 20 past 10, I think.
Yeah.
And I think we got in there just after midday, I think it was. We were both standing there trying to work out how much content, and as we got closer, you could see there was a clock inside the little waiting room, in inverted commas, and that said 25 minutes. So actually, from my point of view, my first EGX, my first time in a gaming queue, and I chose you to stand with.
Yeah.
And
it's downhill from there.
My child. And and I was just, I mean, 25 minutes went like that when we were playing, but it was nice.
Yeah.
I can imagine, it was nice, it was worth the time waiting, was worth the time playing.
Yeah. And and in the queue attainment, whatever they're doing at E3 next year, I got to meet the Onion King from Overcooked. So,
nearly took the barrier with him with his rucksack as well, as he tried to dodge underneath it.
I'll tell you what, I almost hit poor Matt about 5 times with that rucksack. I wasn't prepared for how beefy my rucksack was going to be. It's because I put my gilet in there, so I had no idea, I had no depth of perception, and I just kept hitting Matt all day with it, which was hilarious. But we got some hands-on time with Marvel Avengers, and I don't know about you, but I just feel it was really funny because, like, after queuing for 2 hours and then some, we were kind of like, we were rethinking our life choices. We were like, why did we do this? You know, we were kind of despair. But then the moment we got our hands on that game, the moment we sat down, the funniest thing was we was expecting Xbox because, you know, we kind of do lean towards the Xbox. And the woman just looked at us and she was like, PlayStation or PC? Because I thought she'd heard us chuckling in the queue, and she was like, PlayStation or PC? And we're like, Xbox, and she was like, we don't have an Xbox, it's PlayStation or PC. And we just like looked at each other and contemplated leaving the queue.
But I swear we weren't the only ones.
No.
Because there was a few times where we weren't at the front of the queue. We were sort of halfway down. So the queue was like a typical S-shape sort of thing, as you would get at a bank or something like that. And she would come out on a few occasions and go, I've got one more for PC, or I've got one more for PlayStation. And we're like, it's obviously everybody's playing Xbox. And then I'm sure a few times she came out and went, I've got 2 for PlayStation. Anybody want them?
Yeah.
And everybody ignored her. So she went back about 10 or 20 people deep. And we're like, everybody wants to play Xbox. Yeah. Little did we know, we could have probably jumped in front of everybody because there was only 2 of us and everybody else is in groups of 5 and 6 all wanting to play together. But yeah, that was funny. So I had to play with this weird controller. My thumbs felt weird, but yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, there was probably about 50 pods. Do you think there was probably about 50 pods playing that game?
Yeah, I'd say it was very well stocked. Very, very well stocked. Yeah.
So what we got to do was we got to play through the opening of the game. So they kind of set the scene, which you've seen in the trailer, where explosions happened. It's A-Day. They're celebrating the Avengers in San Francisco, and then an explosion happens with one of the pods, and then the Avengers kind of assemble and try and find out what's happening, kind of with the issue. And then what it does is it then just started taking us through. It took us through Thor first, wasn't it? It was Thor.
I'm trying to think now.
Yeah, it was Thor, then Iron Man, then Hulk, then Black Widow, wasn't it? It was like that kind of...
Captain America was in there as well. When you went inside and you were playing Captain America.
Captain America was after Black Widow.
Hulk,
in between Hulk and the Black Widow, there was that, because Black Widow was at the end, wasn't it? It was at the finale. But it was really good. So to go through all of those characters, to go through Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, then Black Widow, they all felt very unique. I thought they all felt very kind of, you know, Thor it felt like God of War. One of my favourite bits I kept talking about all day was the fact that when you're surrounded by bads, you can just throw your hammer and it will actually just pin them on the floor. So it will just push a guy onto the floor, and so if there's someone shooting at you while you're doing like close combat, you can just throw your hammer at that person. It will pin them to the floor. They can't move, and then you will just then do, you know, fight. And then call your hammer, similar to kind of God of War. You just call that hammer, and it will go through anyone and go through anything to kind of take those down. So you had that kind of brief introduction to Thor, which I thought was really cool. And then you kind of jumped into Iron Man. So you're kind of doing a bit of flying over the bridge. You were doing some, you know, kind of, before you actually got to touch down, you had a bit of a flying section where you were kind of taking out guys that were flying at you as well. And I thought that felt really good. It felt really fluid.
Yeah, I completely agree. It was once you got used to the controls, it did feel. I mean, like with Iron Man, you could go up and down, which I initially found a little bit tricky, sort of trying to get I was almost in the Antony school of flying, so I found that a bit tricky. But playing as Thor with the hammer, then going to Iron Man, some of the buttons and some of like the hero moves were similar, or how you actioned them was similar. So there was familiarity. I can't even say the word now. There was it. Every character played the same in respect to some of the buttons you press, but everyone felt different. So it was good because you got that sort of like, you know, hammer in God of War feeling. You got that, you know, when like Hulk was running along, you got that almost sort of like Respawn, Titanfall wall running sort of thing. Because I think there was one bit where you're running across the bridge and there's this massive gap, and I just go to run across it, and I went down straight away, and I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to jump across that gap? And then you suddenly saw the scratches on the side of this lorry, and you're like, oh, okay, I must have to run up there to jump over to there. But I had a couple of issues. Mainly probably my own. When you first started playing as Black Widow, the Taskmaster, I think it was. Yeah, the Taskmaster came into it, and I kept on thinking it was a cutscene, and I played the cutscene, and then it went to a loading screen. I'm like, okay, played the cutscene again, went to loading screen. Now, what I didn't realise was you actually have to control the Black Widow to sort of dodge him. But now afterwards, I think about it, when we were standing there, because when we went into the little waiting area, we were right at the beginning, right at the start sort of thing. So I was watching other people's screens, and I don't think I was the only one to get that, because I saw that loading screen come up on a few people's consoles or PCs. So I think there was that one bit which was annoying, because that must have wasted about a good 2 minutes, so I didn't make it to the end of the demo. Right. But all in all, yeah, I mean, I can't wait. Get it on the proper console. Sorry, PlayStation fans. Get it on the Xbox. Get it in my lounge on my 65-inch TV. And as I think we said that evening, that's a day, if not weekend booker out. That's sit and play that. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Absolutely. I mean, like I say, I think it felt good. It looked great. There was a few things with textures with Thor's hair that looked a little bit weird, but this game is not out until May, so there's still kind of a lot of time. And I think that the demo that we played was probably an E3 demo anyway, so that demo's probably been knocking around. So that demo is probably like a year old, because it looked very similar to what other people had described. So Hulk felt, the one thing I loved about Hulk, and I keep saying, is that one of his moves are you can grab an enemy and then just whack other enemies with it. And I just absolutely loved it. I didn't stop chuckling at that bit. Like I say, it was like you got to sit down in a nice seat, which was good after a 2-hour stand. You got to sit in a nice seat, nice pair of headphones on, and just kind of going through that game. And I just thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. I just thought it was really good. I was really impressed at everything that kind of came from that. So I was just, like I say, I'm the same as you. I just cannot wait to just kind of have a little bit more of that and just play that. And that's it. I know there's a beta coming. I think there's a beta coming on the PlayStation next year, but I don't know. I think I'm just ready to just kind of wait and then jump in. There's enough games to kind of keep me occupied that I can kind of, I've had my feel. We spent 2 hours kind of just waiting for that, just to get that. And I just felt like it was well worth it. It was well worth that queue. It was well worth that queue just to to get that. And then also we got a really cool T-shirt as well. So which I was sporting on Saturday. I had my T-shirt on Saturday. I was just like, it's quite cool. I like it. It fits quite nice.
Well, it was funny because I know when we were standing there, I was looking at these people had these T-shirts, and I'm like, oh, let's go to sit over there, because I don't know whether this was like there's loads of T-shirts, and when these people are grabbed them, they're gone. So I'm like, right, if he doesn't take his T-shirt, I'm going to go and sit over there and grab that T-shirt, because I'm thinking merch, they're all the same size, you don't get choice. But actually, when you got up at the end, as the little sort of gate you were going out of, they had I think it was 4 different sizes, posters and all this lot, and they were like, right, what size T-shirt you want? Do you want a lanyard? Do you want a poster? And we're like, oh, go on then.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they were giving out the T-shirts. I mean, at one point during the day, every time we walked past it, I kept on having a look, and that queue never went down till right at the end. But because I was promised Shake Shack and leaving to go and get some food, otherwise I think I might have gone in there and tried to see if I could get another go. But I'm the same as you. I mean, I don't need to play this again.
No.
I want to say this. This is it. This is up there with games which I'm, like Call of Duty, which I know I'm going to enjoy, regardless of what the critics or Metacritic say and all that. I know I enjoy playing them. I love Respawn's game. I love Titanfall. Yes, it had the controversy about EA and Star Wars, but forget about that. The whole loot box thing doesn't bother me whatsoever. I don't think it's right in certain ways, but I think that Star Wars, Respawn, Titanfall 2 type sort of gameplay. You had me with that even before I played this demo.
Yes.
No, definitely cannot wait.
Yeah.
Day and date. Pre-order done.
Absolutely, it looks stunning, handled really well. It's just, for me, it's just kind of cements it. I was already excited about it, but I just can't wait. We didn't get to play any of Kamal Khan's bit. It was just purely that. It was purely just that intro. It was probably just that kind of one. But we got to play all the main characters. So I didn't see Hawkeye in there, but I don't know. I'm just looking at the pictures I took from the show, and I'm not actually seeing Hawkeye in any of the artwork anyway. So I don't think they're kind of listing him at the moment as a main Avenger. It's definitely Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Kamal Khan, Ms. Marvel, and Black Widow. So, which is really cool.
Yeah, because you took a picture of that massive mural. That was up on the wall. Yeah,
it's very cool.
But no, definitely having that one. It's going to be an awesome game. Cannot wait. Sounded great as well with the headphones.
Yes,
that sounded really good. Before we started, they said this is a rough build. This is a development game, so it probably plays slightly different, probably feels slightly different, looks slightly different. But I mean, yeah, it looked great already on the PlayStation, and I can only see it getting better.
Absolutely. And then the rest of the kind of day, the games we played, some standouts. I'm just looking at the photos I took because I'm kind of now a seasoned professional at EGX to take photos of the games we're playing because it makes it easier to talk about. I think the next up, once we regrouped with the guys, the kind of next up was Circuit Superstars.
That was brilliant.
Which
I'm looking through my photographs now, and all I've got is the one of Wee Man sitting on a cupcake. But anyway, we digress from that. We made that a pod artwork.
so we got to play Circuit Superstars, which is kind of like a top-down kind of isometric kind of view racing game, real chunky graphics. Real kind of chunky. Reminded me of Lonely Mountains, which we'll get to in a moment. But it kind of had that same kind of similar art style. It was kind of nice and bright, kind of chunky, and it was really great because it's 4-player. So this is a racing game. I think there was a game similar to it in the arcades when I was younger. But it was just really good. It had a gorgeous aesthetic, really unique handling. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Unique handling.
Is that because you spent most of the time at the back?
Yeah, exactly.
How many times did we lap?
I think only Matt lapped me twice, and I was just like, but it was really good. It was really cool. I just kind of spent the time just like looking at the game and just taking it all in, and that's my excuse that I'm sticking to. So it was really cool. So it was a great handling game. This is coming. So Circuit Superstars. This is coming to PC and Xbox next year. So I think it's coming to Steam soon, but coming to PC and Xbox very soon. So I think that's going to be kind of next year. I think the guy was saying it's going to be 2020.
Yeah, they're really, really friendly guys. I think they said they were based down in Bognor Regis, I think it was. But yeah, I mean, I'm just looking now. I followed them on Twitter, so it's at Circuit SUP. Or at Circuit SUP is their Twitter handle. Top-down, physics-driven racing game for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC, coming out 2020.
Yeah.
Developed by Original Fire G. But yeah, I think it was brilliant. It's It just shouted of that night, little Micro Machines type game. What was the one? What was the one on Xbox? The first 4K game. I can't think what it was now. Had a similar side. Mantra Spurn Racing.
Yeah.
Similar to that sort of star look at it.
Yeah.
But just played really well. Once some of us got how you sort of drifted around a corner, and you if you took a shortcut, you got a 1.5 second penalty, which I realised, wondering why it kept on coming up saying 1.5, going, I'm just really good.
Yeah.
But no, that was one of my standouts. I really, really enjoyed that. Cannot wait to get that, especially. I think that was a definite switcher and an Xbox, to be honest. I think it's a definite one I want to take with me and play out and about.
It's definitely, because the great thing about it was like four player co-op, couch, and also online. So So it's great fun when you've got people round, you know, in your demo room. It would look absolutely superb. Everyone would get their own 55-inch TV. You know, it would look really cool. But it would just absolutely kind of it was just, the screen was sliced up, and it was just a really, really good. And I think, and then the next one that we found, we headed over to the Overcooked area, to see if they had any merch. But we come across a game called Moving Out. Which is, again, coming to Xbox, PlayStation, Steam. I don't think they said Stadia, but it's coming to kind of a Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam. And so Moving Out, as we all said, I think Moving Out kind of really had an Overcooked vibe to it. So we were playing it. So what you have is you basically have, it's a static camera, so you're just looking down on a house, an office, or whatever, and you have items that are flashing. You've got a time, you've got a clock coming down, and we played 2 levels. One of them had a moving van, the other one had like a trash compactor. And so you had to get all of the items that were flashing, it had a count in the corner. So it's saying like you got 32 items, and it would count them down. And so you'd have to get these items, and you're basically moving out this house or moving out this office. But the fun happens that you start taking a box, and you need to put them you need to fit them all into the van. But the fun happens that when you try and pick up a sofa, suddenly it was just so heavy. Suddenly and it comes up with a little 2-player marker, which means 2 people have got to do it. And that's where the kind of Overcooked fun comes into it, because now you need 2 people to grab that sofa, try and get it out of the area, and put it into the van. So this was just, and then when it finished, it was so funny because it finished and we got our score, and then we suddenly saw like the gold, silver, and bronze, which is the the equivalent of an Overcooked 3 stars. And Manny just looked at me and went, "Nicola's gonna love this," and I'm like, "Yeah." So and it was so good. It had a great art style. It was great fun with all 4 of us just kind of like shouting and screaming at each other. But it was really good fun.
I think it was very similar to Overcooked, but very different in respects of, I think from your point of view, from Nicola's point of view, she's not going to be able to 3 or 4 star this like Overcooked on her own, because that weight mechanic, that weight mechanic of you picking up a box. I mean, I know we all went in there and grabbed something on our own originally, and like we were throwing boxes around, and I can remember running to the kitchen and picking up a fridge freezer, and just instantly it felt like you were just dragging this really heavy fridge, and it just felt so real. Then I think you came in, or someone came in and grabbed the other side of it. Then all of a sudden it was back to being light again.
Yeah.
And then I think in the second level we played up in the office block, I think we picked up. 2 of us stayed down. It was sort of like a split level office, wasn't it? So 2 of you went up and started throwing boxes and that over the barriers.
Yeah. And
then there was 2 of us downstairs, just putting them all in this compactor lift or whatever it was. But it was just a hoot. I mean, it was a really, really good game, and I think it's going to lead to a lot of arguments in the Chesson household anyway. But I think, especially online, I just think it's a great follow-on from Overcooked, but in a very different style.
I mean, again, I think this is a 2020 release, but this is definitely something that I'm going to keep an eye on, because Moving Out on Xbox, this will be a kind of there'll be a day and date purchase, because I just kind of feel that as much as I'm going to get verbally abused, I kind of feel that it's just going to be so much fun. It would be great. That would be a great Christmas game. It would be really good fun just to kind of like jump around and shout and scream at that, which would be really cool. And then I think after that we kind of had a bimble round. We had a bit of a wander round and kind of grab some lunch, and then kind of saw some other games. There was Cake Bash, which we never really got our hands on, but that looked quite fun.
I took a photograph of that, and that was that seemed to be attracting the younger audience members. But that sort of looked like the one I saw there was sort of like. It almost looked like a bird feeding table, but there was you were picking up berries and putting them into the middle of like this area, but then these pigeons were landing on the table, eating the berries and trying to stop you, and then they were flying over, basically pooping on top of you and things like that. So that looked very, 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 very good. I got sidetracked pretty much after going into the indie section, because they had new Super Lucky's Tale.
Right.
So any listeners to the pod know that Super Lucky's Tale I really enjoyed on the Xbox. I think I played all of it apart from the very last DLC. So I've since now found that this new Super Lucky's Tale is a Switch exclusive.
Right.
So it's only coming on the Switch. It's completely different to the original game, but it's sort of like the Switch's version of Super Lucky's Tale.
Right.
So I know me and Wee Man played a little bit of it, and it just felt like the first game or the Xbox game.
Yeah.
So that was something I really, really enjoyed. On the Team 17 stand, and I'll get onto it in what I've been playing, I played a couple of levels of Yooka Laylee and Impossible Lair, which I really enjoyed, which again we'll get back onto. But I think that was the sort of, for me, that was the highlights of the indie section. And then we went on to a 5 p.m. booking in the quite awesome cinema they built there. I mean, I was having cinema envy, with that, the amount of seats they put in there. But before I mention the name as well, you had 45 minutes of watching this game, and the other morning I woke up Saturday morning, I'm thinking to myself, I really, really fancy playing a game. And sometimes you wake up and you think, I want to play a game. What was that game I was playing, which was blah, blah, blah? I really could really do a few hours of that. So, of course, I woke up Saturday morning and going, now, what was that game? What was that game? That was, it was about, like, you could upgrade your body. And I went, oh, bugger, it's Cyberpunk. That was the demo I watched. I can't play that till March. So we got to have a 45-minute, quite thorough playthrough of Cyberpunk. It was brilliant.
Yeah. It was really good. They kept taking us through. They took us through a vertical slice of the game. Someone else was controlling. We were just watching. Like I say, it was like incredibly loud, incredibly bassy. It was good fun.
Yeah.
It was really good to kind of just see that. And they just showed us how we could attack different environments in different methods, which was really cool. And they just kept, you can't do it in the game, but they kept switching between a kind of a male and female protagonist and kind of just showing the different play styles. Like the male was more kind of run and gun, where the female was kind of more kind of stealthy, hacking people, kind of causing some problems. So they really kind of gave you a really good idea of what this game was about. They kept jumping to different parts. The one thing that I really liked was they said, oh, here's a loading screen because we're just jumping to a different area, but you won't see this in the game. You'll just drive seamlessly to the next part of the game, and you'll just kind of take it from there. So I just thought that was really cool. They really kind of gave such a great presentation and a great run through of the game. So I came out of that kind of even more excited for Cyberpunk than I was before.
Yeah, I think what they showed you was really good. It was so you sort of played the game, and then you got in with one of the villains, and you had to go off and do something for him to help you. And when they would speak to you, then you would then be prompted with an answer. So you could ask her a question. So it would almost come up. I think in a similar way, if anybody's seen like the demo footage for After Party that's coming out, something happens and you get some choices. So you can either be arrogant, you could be forthcoming, or the one thing I think we spoke about on the way back on the train, I think it was that there was another option which sort of said street kid or something like that. Street punk, which is one of the characters you could play along with corporate and something else. So it was whether you could change your character by becoming that character in attitude.
Yes.
But that seemed really interesting, and visually, I mean, I think, that was on a projected system. I think coming from the internals to outside on that screen looked absolutely stunning. And if that's a pre-alpha build, and it's not got the right textures in it, that at home on in native 4K on 65-inch TV, in HDR gloriness, it's just going to look stunning. Yeah, absolutely stunning. I mean, I've pre-ordered it now. I came straight home and that was like, click, pre-order. Yeah. I'm not even worried about doing my Call of Duty thing where I buy it on the disc, play it, and then I sell it while it's before Christmas while it's still worth something, because I can see myself going in and dipping in and out of that and playing that more. So that's a definite day one download.
Yeah, you can see that one kind of hanging around on your hard drive for a while.
Yeah, no, really, really, really impressed, and just cannot wait to play that. That just looks so good. I was also just looking at the photographs. I was also really impressed with the dummy's not the mannequin of Norman Reedus. That just looked like that was so lifelike. That was just unbelievable.
Yeah, that was on the Death Stranding. They were showing a vertical slice similar to Cyberpunk, weren't they? Kind of queuing up for that, and they had that statue was really amazing.
That was amazing. And then the other thing, which was obviously James got his picture taken, Luigi. That's one of his life goals done. Mm-hmm. But I was really impressed with PlayStation with VR. They had Iron Man VR. They had Beat Saber. They had Sniper Elite VR.
Yep.
And we sort of walked up the side where there was probably half a dozen setups, I think it was. Mm-hmm. I actually took a video. I'm just trying to see now if I can see. I think there was about half a dozen stations, quite spacious stations. And then later on we walked round onto the Sony stand. So they had another 6 the other side, and they were all booked out for the whole day when we went round there sort of mid-afternoon. But they were really there pushing VR still, which, I was really happy to see Sony just, making a massive part of their stand, bigger than they had for Call of Duty, bigger than they had for Death Stranding. Yeah, was they were still pushing VR, which was brilliant.
Absolutely, it was really good to see. It was really good. I think Sony had a great set. They had Final Fantasy VII, didn't they? They had Concrete Genie was there, so they had a kind of a mixture of kind of games coming out and also some new games coming soon and some that were already out. So it was a really good showing. And Nintendo as well. Nintendo had a really good. Yes. I mean, we got to play. Actually, we got hands on with Mario.
We got to see quite a lot of. We got to see a lot of Nintendo while standing in the Avengers stand, just with the big screen opposite us,
watching that presentation again and again. But we got hands on after kind of that being brainwashed, and we got hands on with Mario Tokyo Olympics 2020. Which was really cool. So we got to play archery and judo, and the archery I thought was a great mechanic. The way that you do it, you kind of pair your controllers together, so you kind of break them out into the kind of like individual ones, so it's very kind of motion. I think you can do it buttons as well, but then you kind of hold them together and then you pull one back as if you are kind of firing a bow, and I just thought that was really good. Steve would know what we're talking about. He would probably give it technical names to what we were doing, but it was really good once you got the hang of kind of aiming. I just thought that was really cool. And then we played judo as well, which seemed to be over too quick. It was just that
was really, really quick. That was. It
was like punch, throw on the floor. That was it, done. But it was looked good. So it looked really good, and I was just so glad that we kind of got our hands on with it, because that kind of for me was like, I quite want to pre-order that game now. I want to, just because it looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. That was really cool. And then speaking of Nintendo and a ton of fun, when we came out the Cyberpunk one, because the other guys they went at the 4:00, we went at the 5:00. The ton of fun and the sight for sore eyes that we were treated to was James Thomas on Ring Fit Adventure, which was just the best thing.
Experience.
Was just about in a day where you've seen Cyberpunk and Marvel Avengers, seeing James Thomas do Ring Fit Adventure was just a thing of beauty. It was just amazing. If you look at either James or mine or your Twitter feed, you'll be able to see kind of pictures of James. But there was put it this way, there was lots of GIFs and images. I think Maddie figured out that his phone could actually make GIFs. So we had a lot of GIFs of James Thomas kind of prancing like a donut.
I think we all got to use. We all got to either create GIFs or find out how slow mo works on our phone really well. So, but that looked really good. I mean, I think it was earlier in the day we were talking about it. When we were waiting for 2 hours, and I did pre-order that. That did turn up at the weekend,
right?
But I didn't get a chance to set it up because I was nose deep in something else. So I think that's definitely, especially with Litland in the house, I think that's a good family game. And Mario Sonic at Tokyo 2020 Olympics, that I pre-ordered that as well, just by watching it, when we were waiting. But then to go over later and play archery again, I think that's a great game just to play as a family game. Nothing too serious. Maybe something you do at Christmas with it's almost. It's with that and Ring Fit Adventure, it's almost arcing back to the Wii days. Of that, playing tennis, that something that you could sit on your TV, plug the HDMI in, and really have a good family laugh. I think there was what else was that? Oh yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield was there as well. That had quite a big queue. Luigi's Mansion, that was on there, but I think James wanted to keep his eyeballs for his copy, not play the demo of it. And then they had lots of tournament battles and everything going on all day. They had a massive screen there with a floor seating area at the front. Nintendo did, and they were doing. I think they were doing Overwatch at one point. They were doing the Tokyo Olympics at one point. They were obviously brought out Super Smash Brothers, and when we were waiting in the queue for Avengers, there wasn't many people there, but the crowd just throughout the day just got more and more and more people. So I think their presence was really good. I think for me, the only disappointing thing about the day was the lack of Xbox. There was no Microsoft, not in any form whatsoever, apart from an old 360 and an old Xbox over on the retro section. And yeah, I know they've got XO19 coming, which obviously, as you said last week, myself, me and you are going to the Inside Xbox filming on the Thursday night. I was just disappointed that they didn't just even do a mixer stand, do something similar to Nintendo have done, which just set up a load of booths just playing, games. And also Stadia as well, I think. I think that I'm a massive Xbox fan, and I was slightly disappointed that there were so many people going there to play games. Yet any PlayStation person couldn't play an Xbox game, where lots of Xbox people could play PlayStation games. And then on the Stadia point of view, nothing about Stadia. I've actually cancelled my Stadia today. I obviously listened to the podcast last week, and I thought about it, and I was very similar to you. And I just remember today, because I think another pod was talking about it, and I just searched my emails, and I just looked at it, and it was like I bought an extra controller, so it was like £179.
Right.
And I was like, I can't play it at home because my download speed's 16, which I think's right on the border for playing it anyway, let alone in 4K. I'm not going to play it at the office. And actually, speaking to you about xCloud, that's where I want to spend my money. I want to be able to, play Gears at home and then farm the achievements whilst I'm on the train or whilst I'm at work. Although I like the idea of Stadia, and I think it is the new technological bling, and I think it's going to be good. For the minute, I'll just sit and wait. I'll just sit and wait. I'm not worried about my name or anything like that. Someone else can take Big Sheep, and we'll just see how it launches. I'm just not willing to spend that money at the moment.
No, I'm the same. I cancelled mine after the pod last week, where I was just I just don't see all of the things that are kind of coming out now, with the kind of, you need to wire the controller if you're doing anything else, but the Ultra Plus and all of that sort of stuff. It just seems like they haven't got it as slick as that initial presentation made it out to be. When I saw that initial presentation, I was all in. I was excited. I was, give me that pre-order button now. But now the dust has settled, and now more kind of, we're getting closer and closer. I'm just not interested. I'm just really, I will happily kind of just sit from the sidelines. I'm interested in the tech, and like I say, I've been playing with xCloud now for a week, and that just blows me away, especially when I'm at home. I just sat in bed. I sat in bed on Sunday, and I just played some Gears and some Halo on xCloud, and it just works so well. And it just works so well, and I'm not wired. I've just got that controller that just works really well, and I was just like, this is where I'd rather be than on Stadia, because even though I'm getting a couple of games for free, the first month is going to be Destiny 2, which I've already got. It's a free-to-play game. I can go to PlayStation play it as well. I've still got to buy the games, and if I'm buying a third-party game, then I'm going to be buying that on the Xbox anyway. So I can't see me using it at the moment, so I just thought, no, I'll give it a wait. If it comes out and everyone's going bananas over it and saying it's the best thing since sliced bread and there's some killer apps for it, then I'll jump in. But
yeah,
right now I'm like you. I'm just willing to just kind of sit from the sidelines and read about it and kind of view it and have a look at it from day one. So, which is really cool.
Have you been pinging achievements in xCloud on Gears or anything?
I don't think I've kind of played that point where there is an achievement. Right. I don't think I've kind of got to that point where there is an achievement.
You've done the game, so you've unlocked quite a few of them, I suppose.
So when I was playing Gears, I tell you what I did when I was playing Gears 5, and actually that was today. Gears 5 has a horde thing at the moment, an event where you are up against T800s. So the first 20 levels of horde right now, if you choose the middle one, the T800, is actually Terminators. So you basically just see wave upon wave of Terminators, whether they've got boom shots or they've got troikas or they've got kind of hammer bursts. They come at you, and it is just such a great thing. It was funny because it made me want to stop playing on xCloud and just fire up the Xbox, and just kind of then play it on Xbox. But it was just, it was so good. Looks so good. But anyway, that's an EGX. Was there anything else, Stu, that you wanted to kind of mention about EGX before we jump into what we've been playing?
No, I don't think so. I think all in all, it was my first EGX. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It was great to finally meet some of the fellow Sparks and some of the friends of the show. So that was quite good to sort of meet everybody. Obviously, Steve couldn't come down from his Yorkshire pudding towers, and it was just it was an eventful day. Rounded off with burgers and burritos. So really tiring. I think my feet really did not want to do anything the next day, hence why I got quite head deep into a game at the weekend.
Yep.
But looking forward to XO19 in a few weeks, and then definitely be back at EGX next year. Awesome stuff.
So, what have you been playing this week?
Since we podded, I have wrapped up on Gears.
Right.
Rolled the credits on Gears 5. Absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Just a brilliant game. I can honestly say it's probably one of the very few games that I rolled the credits. I knew it was ending, but I was upset when it finished because I didn't know whether it was going to carry on a little bit more because they sort of left it in limbo. I could have quite easily restarted the game again and just gone straight back, new game, bang, back in, start from the beginning. I just absolutely loved it. I just thought it was classic Gears. I really enjoyed the storyline. I really enjoyed the fact that Marcus was in it, but he was he was in it as voice. You didn't play him. It gave you a few choices to make along the game. I'd be interested. Are we spoiling it or are we not spoiling it?
Probably too soon for spoilers, I reckon. So,
right.
Yeah.
I'd be interested. There is a part in the game where you get to choose something.
Yeah.
Everybody I've listened to, and I forgot to ask you this the other day, but everybody I know chose the same as me.
Right.
I want to know what happens when you choose the other option.
Right.
To whether something happens and it carries on that story, because after that happens, the story is pretty set in stone.
Yeah.
So if you don't choose that option, does that actually then change the rest of the story, or does it revert you? So you choose that option and it reverts you to what it wants you to choose, sort of thing. So I thought that was good and completely unexpected. I think I'd actually was watching the cutscene and put the controller down, and all of a sudden I'm like, pants, I need to do something. But yeah, just really enjoyed it. Played quite a bit of Escape. Really enjoying Escape. Really enjoying that. Haven't jumped into Horde yet because I think I was waiting for a load of us to get together and jump in. I might try and jump in and do a little bit, but especially if they're doing the Terminator side of it. But just really enjoyed it. So wanted to sort of like to don my cap to the guys at Coalition. To the Coalition. Also sounded, I know I touched on this before, sounded phenomenal in the cinema, sounded phenomenal in my headphones at home. My SteelSeries headphones sounded phenomenal as well. So I'm definitely going to go back and play it. I might go and play it over Christmas or something.
Yeah. It might be one of those ones where you can knock it down to like nice and easy, and then go through and get all the collectibles and stuff like that, and kind of do it that way, and kind of just like, because that's I think I did that with 4 just before 5 started. I kind of went into 4, knocked it down to the easy mode just because I'd already had the challenge with like Nicholas. We'd already done that, but it was just a case of I just wanted to A, refresh myself with the story, but also B, just go through and get all the cog tags and collectibles and things like that. So it was quite nice. It was quite nice just to go through that and kind of it wasn't challenging, but it was just good fun. You really got to just experience the story and not take up too much time as well. So which was really cool. So no, that's really good. I'm glad you've but we definitely need to kind of get some Horde. I think I was saying kind of to you, and I was also saying to Steve last week. I think the Manny and Wee Man have now finished the campaign. I think they did a co-op.
Right.
So we could I think we could easily get 5 people together quite quickly.
Definitely. No, I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. I think that's going to be very, very enjoyable. The other game, I'm just trying to find something at the moment. The other game I was playing was the Yooka Laylee.
Right.
Yooka Laylee, The Impossible Lair. I downloaded because the original game is on Game Pass at the moment.
It is indeed. Yep.
And I can't remember if there was an achievement or something, or it might have been part of Microsoft rewards, but I fired it up and I skipped through the beginning and started sort of playing it, and it really didn't fit me. This was before EGX, and I'm thinking, no, I don't really want to play this. And it was it's because obviously I think the original game was a bit more open, 3D world, sort of like Mario Odyssey type game.
Or Banjo, because these are the guys who are the makers of
Banjo.
I
suppose, exactly, and it was on the Team 17 stand, the opposite side of Overcooked. Now, I think when we went back there for a second or third time, it was round the back, and we just sat there. And so, Yooka Laylee, The Impossible Lair, is basically a 2D scroller, but it does have 3D elements in it.
Right. Okay.
So I really enjoyed that, and I thought, okay, this sort of scratches my. I can play it in front of Molly. It's not bloody gory or anything like that. I could sit down on a Saturday and she could be colouring, drawing, or doing stuff as a 9-year-old does, and I could be playing computer games, especially as my feet were hurting. And I just come across it on the Microsoft Store. And I was trying to look at how much it was, because it wasn't expensive. It was only about sort of, I want to say £20 or something like that. It wasn't expensive. So I thought, blimey, I really enjoyed those 5 minutes that we played, I think. So I downloaded it. I think I clocked it up last night that I've played it for just under 10 hours.
Right. Wow, that's good.
I love it. It's brilliant. It has the comical Yooka-Laylee sort of side of it. So you're playing as Yooka, and then the Laylee is the bat on your head. So it basically starts off with a few cutscenes. You go to fight the protagonist in the from the first game in the Impossible Lair.
Right.
And when you basically fight him, you've been stripped of all these bees that protect you, like an invisible barrier. So he steals all your bees. You then go to fight him, and of course you can only get hit twice, so you die. So then you get expelled from there, and then this bee princess character says, well, if you travel around this map and go to visit these worlds, you can rescue all those bees that he stole off of you.
Right.
I think based on looking at the achievements, there's 48 bees to collect.
Right.
I think I unlocked number 20 last night, so it's a 20-hour game for me at least.
Yeah.
So what you do is you basically You basically start in one section. On the ground, there's an open book. That open book is a world. You play that world. Within that world, you collect golden feathers, I think they are.
Yep.
But like a golden feather, a golden currency. And you also can get up to 5 coins per zone as well. And they're just like classic side-scrolling. So I know that obviously I was getting the mickey taken out of me because it's very similar to Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Yep.
Obviously, same people, play styles. Some of the levels were very similar. But for me, it's just that classic case of, you jump. I was playing one last night where you have 3 platforms, and you stand on the platform for 3 seconds, and then it would drop, and you'll fall to your death.
Yeah.
So you'd have to jump to the next one. You keep on having to jump between them whilst this is moving along, and you've got fire being shot at you and all this lot. And it just got my interest as something really quite frustrating and really, really hard at times, but really, really enjoyable. The in-game characters are funny. There's one character in there. They put up what they call these paywalls. So you collect these feathers, this currency. Or is it the coins? Can't think now. Yeah,
it's both, isn't it? I think it's both.
So you collect the feathers will unlock like safes where you might have inside that a key, or you might have inside that a thing called Pagey, where if you collect if you talk to Pagey and you beat one of his special levels, he unlocks more of the area.
Right.
But it was just the comical value because they had these walls which you unlock these paywalls by coins, and I think it was the first one that basically took a complete square shot at loot boxes.
Right.
Basically you went up to it and it says, you need to give me some money to get past this bit. Every game's doing this now, so we thought we'd do it as well.
Nice.
But you pay for it with in-game coins. So it was just a little sort of, a little thing like that was just quite funny. But the main thing for me really was when you dip in and out of the 2D and 3D world, but there's things you have to do in the 3D world, like get a jar of honey for this pot of sweet syrup.
Right.
But then what happens is if you spill this sweet syrup into the map that's sitting below him, the map you've just played is now all sticky, sweet and sticky.
Oh, right.
Where you can then revert it to not being sweet and sticky, and then you play the same map, but it's got a very different feel to it. And this happens quite a lot in the game. So you will play a world with water in it, and then you play the same world, but the water's now frozen. So you can get to platforms you couldn't get to before. So each level is giving you 2 levels. But I'm just absolutely loving it. And ironically, I listened to a podcast today because I'm working on site at the moment, so I'm listening to quite a lot of podcasts, and it made me go over to Metacritic, and Metacritic have got it up as an 82 score, and it's actually a lot of the official sites are giving it 80s, 90s, 85s, 90s, 91s. If you look at the user reviews, there's the usual idiot that gives it 0, but they're 9, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10. So it's just a really fun game. I just really, really enjoyed it. And it's one of these games that I could just dip into when I've got 20 minutes and dip out of it again. So really, really enjoyed that. Really, well worth time at the weekend playing that.
That sounds so cool. That sounds so good. But I can say I played the original Yooka Laylee. I think I backed it on Kickstarter because I was quite excited about it. But there was something that wasn't quite right about the control system. I really liked the characters. I thought they were really cool. But there was something about Yooka Laylee that just didn't gel with me. So I never played it. I got the by kickstarting it, I did get a code, and I gave that to Nicola to play on her Switch. But I don't think she's ever got round to playing it. I need to find out what it's like on the Switch, because it felt on the Xbox. I think it's now on Game Pass, as we were saying. It's on Game Pass, but it felt a little bit too floaty. It felt a little bit too light. So seeing it kind of come over to here, like a 2D realm or a 2.5D, I just think that's fantastic. It's a great move.
And what I really liked was, was when you unlock these potions as you go around the game. So you find them laying here and there, and you unlock them. And what it does is it can help you in the game, but then if it helps you in the game, it halves your score. So if you collect like 600 of these golden feathers, it can like half your score.
Right.
So, you know, because we helped you, we half it.
Right.
But then, and those things could be little things like, if you get hit, the first time you get hit, Laylee will fly off.
Yes.
And you have to try and catch it. One of them is Laylee will stay around longer for you able to catch it before it disappears. There's no lives in the game, so basically you get hit once, you lose Laylee. You get hit again, you die. You start back at the checkpoint, which is only 30 seconds a minute away. But what I really, really liked was you start to unlock these really weird ones, where there's one where all the enemies have googly eyes.
Oh, okay.
But they're harder to beat.
Right.
But it gives you a bonus. And then the other ones, which really made me laugh, was there is you can unlock a potion, which means you play the game in 4:3 resolution.
Right.
So you don't play it in 16:9, you play it in 4:3. There's another one where you play the whole game in one colour.
Right.
Or you play it in black and white.
Yeah.
Or you play it upside down. Or you play it in mirror. So it was just great the way they've just thrown these little potions in there to say, okay, you're enjoying it and we'll reward you, but you've got to play it in black and white, or you've got to play it upside down. And I just thought that's such a great little idea. A little bit like was it Halo when they done the remastered where you could play it in the Super Res new version, or you could press the button and step it back to the original OG Xbox version.
Yes.
I think it's just little things like that. I just like it when they do this in games because it makes an enjoyable game even more enjoyable.
Yeah, I love the fact that they're going back to like an N64 look.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And as I say, it's I've got 20 Bs. I think there's 48. Looking at the achievements, it goes like get so many Bs, you get an achievement. So it pops achievements quite a lot, especially if you put the time in.
Right.
But yeah, really, really enjoy it. But what about yourself? What have you been up to?
Well, I've been continuing playing Concrete Genie. So last week, I think when I was playing with Steve, I was about an hour and a half into Concrete Genie and absolutely loving it. And I was just like, I was gushing about it. When I was listening and editing back, I just could hear kind of how much I'm enjoying this game. and I can safely say, that hasn't gone away. You know, I've been playing some big chunks of this game. I've got through the three main worlds, the three main zones. I've kind of cleared those up. And I'm now I'm into a place where the gaming style has kind of switched slightly. So I've gone from kind of putting up graffiti on the walls and then you go down into the sewer to now that I've kind of back into these big areas, but I can now kind of fire projectiles from my brush. Which is a complete switch, a complete change to the game pace of this. But I sat there on Saturday and Sunday and just playing it, and I just absolutely love this game. You know, I just like this. There's something about this game that is just sit there with a big grin on my face. One of the things, before I get into kind of more about the game, it was funny, but yeah, it was bloody scary, was I was playing on Sunday, and Sunday morning, so I kind of woke up early, went downstairs and was playing it, and there's a bit where you make one of the genies. Every now and then the genies want to play. So you make the genie wanted to play, it came up with a speech bubble, said it wanted to play. So, I took it over in front of these two lights, and then you press the light, and the genie starts to karaoke. And it just makes this wonderful, weird, whale-like noise as this genie is just singing, and it really made me chuckle. And as I was doing that, Nicola came downstairs and she was like, what are you doing? What are you laughing at? She goes, I can hear you laughing from upstairs. I was like, it's so funny. I said, this genie here, I said, is singing. I said, let me show you. So I had headphones on because it was early in the morning. So I turned up the amp in the movie room and I couldn't hear anything. So I was like, I'll turn it up a bit more. So I kept turning up, still no sound. So Nicola, who was still kind of asleep, she went over to one of the speakers in the room, the two either side of the TV, put her ear next to it, just as I realised that I had the headphone lead in the DualShock controller. So the moment I took that out, honestly, it just went, because it was at 99 on the amp. And I was just like, holy shit. So I just plugged it back into the controller, plugged the thing back in. And then, of course, after that, I was worried that I just perforated her eardrum. I was just like, right, can you hear me? I was doing these stereo tests where I put my headphones on and I was playing some music. I was like, is that just as loud either side? Because I was genuinely frightened. Because she went right up close. Just as the moment I was like, oh, I wonder if I take this out. And it was just like, you just heard this genie going, and it was just, it was so scary. But apart from that, so Nicola's even sitting there going, I want to play this game. I want to play this game. It just looks amazing. So we've gone through different kind of genies. We've had the normal genie, the fire genies. We've had electric ones, which are yellow. We've also had wind genies as well. And this game just continues just to kind of be amazing and magical. And I just really like the art style. I think last week, the art style I kind of compared to like Cobo and the 3 strings or 4 strings and Monster House, and it's very much like that. It just feels incredible. But like I say, the story's now changing. The bullies are changing, and the gameplay has changed as well, and it's just so lovely. I just cannot wait just to play more of this game. It's one of those ones that's really interesting. I want to finish it because I want to get through, but at the same time, I just want to kind of play it again. There is the case where you collect right at the start of the game, your book. You're this little kid who's drawing all the time, and your book has been ripped apart by bullies. So there's pages everywhere. And most of the pages you pick up during the level because they're the different things that you need to draw. That I think I've only got to one part where a genie was like, so I had to get a genie to electrify something for me, but in order to do that, it wanted me to draw 2 things, and when I looked at my pages, I only had one of those. So then I had to go exploring, and I found it on a rooftop, because you do kind of climb a lot and traverse, and I found it on a rooftop. So I bet that was the only time, and then I had to double back. Most of the time I've kind of got everything that they need, but you still find pages that are all everywhere. Some are hard to get, and they're different types of genies, different body shapes, because you get to draw the body shape of your genie. And like I said, I think I've got about 3 pages of them now. You get to draw the body shape, the ears, anything dangling from them, their towel, and all that sort of stuff. You get to kind of do that. I did one that was just an abomination. I put his towel in the wrong place. It was kind of coming out of his belly button. But luckily, you can just kind of go up to a genie and press square, and then you can get to kind of like rejig it slightly. But now, like I say, now I'm kind of going through 3 beats where I am firing different things from my paintbrush, and I absolutely love it. This game surprises me as much as Control surprised me. So I thought, the art style is great, it looks lovely, but I didn't expect it to resonate so much with me, and just, this game's gorgeous. It's not HDR, it's 4K on the PlayStation 4, but it's not, 4K, I mean, HDR would have made this game really pop. It pops, and it looks stunning, and I can't stop kind of like going into photo mode, not taking photos, but going into photo mode and just going around, because you can maneuver the scene and you can look at it from different angles, because the reflections on the water, on the floor and things like that are just absolutely stunning. So this game is it's absolutely incredible.
I know the pictures you put on the WhatsApp group just looked amazing. I mean, whilst you've been talking, I just literally zoomed in and had a look at like the clarity of the individual bricks in a wall. So like they look almost like, some of the old buildings in London where the edges of the bricks are all weathered, and and the cement between them has sort of worn away. But it does look like a stunning game. And as I say, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts this week, and everybody is waxing lyrical about
really?
it. And everybody's staying the same, where they want to sort of platinum the game, but they're because they've got so much to play, and and I know a load of people are playing Death Stranding at the moment. They're playing the Outer Worlds, and sort of they're playing embargo games. But a lot of people have been saying, no, I want to play this because I've got a code to play it, but I'm just loving Concrete Jungle, and I'm just like, I'm having to park it, but I don't want to park it. So I think it's definitely one I am going to probably fire up, because I don't think it's hugely long as well. I think they're saying
Right.
I think I heard today that they were saying it's a 6 to 10 hour game. I think I don't know how long you've been playing it for, because it's not a full price game, is it? It's not a $60 game.
No, it's kind of like, but it's just really good. Like I say, Nicola wants to play it next, and I just absolutely love it. I just really enjoy it. Like I say, the handling, the controls, everything just feels great. You know, I've just learned this skate ability, so I can now skate around. So as I'm firing my brush, I'm skating around, and it's just so good. You know, the whole area that you're playing in, you're actually in this old fishing village that once used to be thriving, but is now falling apart. It's now decrepit. It's now kind of, and that's what you're trying to kind of rebuild. And even if you go up to if you go up to like an old sign, and if you have all the graffiti needed, you can revive that sign. So it's like, you've got a sign, it's got a couple of mushrooms, got maybe some lights, you go, oh, I've got those, and you just draw over those and it revitalizes the sign. Most of the time it pops a trophy, but no one cares. And so you have that, and it's just so lovely. You know, like I say, Nicola sat next to me a couple of times, and she's just like, I really want this game. Really just looks something special. So yes, that's Concrete Genie. Hopefully, it's really funny because I think my gaming calendar is going to be Concrete Genie, and then at the weekend I'm going to go into COD. You know, I'm going to go to Call of Duty.
God,
you know, so
I just looked, and I just got me, because as I mentioned earlier, COD is always the one I physically buy it, because I'm not hugely bothered about the multiplayer, but I love the campaigns, and the same with the Battlefield games. And I literally just got me email from Amazon saying it's on its way.
Nice.
So that will hopefully be here Friday before I go football. I can pop it in to rip it, do whatever I need to do it, and then I can play that. But yeah, I can't wait to play COD. I am really looking forward to that this weekend.
Yeah, I said too, I'm going up to Manchester on Friday, so I won't be back until probably about 8:30ish, something like that. But I just said to Nicola, I said, like, when that arrives, when the kind of the physical disc arrives, I said, do me a favour, could you just pop it into the Xbox, log in as me, pop it, because you know, at the moment there's like 134 gig digital download. It kicked off today, I believe. So Call of Duty have been kind of tweeting saying that the download's ready to kind of kick off now, so you can start downloading that right now. And so I kind of, so what I want to do is, I've got tomorrow night, so Thursday, we're podding on Wednesday. It is Wednesday today, isn't it? Yeah, it is Wednesday. Bake Off was yesterday, so it's Wednesday. So I've got tomorrow night really to kind of finish Concrete Genie, before I kind of jump into COD, because I really kind of want to get Concrete Genie out of the way. I don't want to jump into COD and then go back to Concrete Genie. I just want to kind of continue the whole muscle memory that I have for everything now, and the way that it's kind of ticking. So I'll probably play some more after the pod, and then play some more tomorrow as well. And it just looks like it's so much fun. It is just so much fun. And then the other game that I was playing actually came out today on Game Pass, and that's a game called Lonely Mountains Downhill. And Lonely Mountains Downhill is it's bloody awesome, actually. It's an awesome downhill mountain biking game. And
you said you wanted to get into mountain biking, but I thought that was going to take some physical exertion.
No, this is
not sitting in front of the Xbox.
Judging by the way that I'm playing some of the sections on some of these, there was one section, I think it was like section 5 on the first course. I just kept hitting the tree. You go through and they go and restart. So what it is, I'll get to that in a moment. But what it is basically, it's a really lovely, basic looking kind of art style. It's not 18-bit or 16-bit. It's kind of just has its own art style, and it's just such a lovely aesthetic. Now, this game sounds, I had it on downstairs in the movie room, and I had the amp on, and birds are tweeting from as you're going downhill, you just get birds tweeting from every speaker, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So you're basically you have throttle and brake, and then you also have skid and speed burst as well. And you've basically just got to get through these 7 sections, and you can cut corners, you can jump off things, you can speed over things, you can every now and then you'll see like a little path and you'll go down there. But the moment that you you hit a rock or hit a tree, it's kind of game over. You know, you smash into that rock, you smash into that tree, you instantly just then press A, you respawn back at the last checkpoint, and then off you go and you kind of continue doing it. It's a little bit unforgiving in places. There were some times where I kind of clipped a tree and it kind of squished me. But saying that, I just absolutely love it. You know, it is just, I just was playing it today and I just thought, I just want to play more. It's a little bit frustrating. You've got to get used to the controls. It presents you with two control methods. One that is basically very much left and right, or one that is the way that where the camera's going. And I've gone for the one that's kind of more kind of, so if you're cycling towards you, then obviously left is right, right is left. Or you get that standard kind of left is right and left is left and right is right. But it just, this camera way, it just feels a lot easier to kind of control. And when you kind of, there's some really, I was speeding down this slope and then the kind of a rather steep kind of corner came and I just pressed the brake, and the way the character moves, the way the bike moves, it's just the sound. I did a really lovely skid that brought the back out that had me gorgeously pointing in the right direction, and then off I just went, and then just kind of went through that. And there's some really nice bits. There was it really was really fulfilling as I was playing this game. It felt really good. And the more courses you unlock and the more challenges that you kind of achieve. So on the first course, you've got to do it in under 3 minutes and you've got to do it without dying less than 20 times, I believe. And if you do that, you unlock another course and unlock a t-shirt, because you can fully customize your player and the bike. At the moment, I've got a skin on my bike called Purple Rain. So my bike's nice and purple. So I've got a purple bike with my driver, and it's just like I say, the first course really kind of teaches you everything. It kind of, as you go down, you go from being a very kind of downhill and hilly through rocks into a forest, and so you're getting kind of a feel for the different aesthetics. And it's not as jumpy or as tricks as that other game, the bike game that I'm blanking on right now. It's not as kind of trick in that like that, but it's more about controlling your cyclist as you're going to go downhill. And like I say, the game sounds and looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. Was it a Kickstarter project?
I don't know, because like I say, the first time I heard about it. The first time I heard about it was Inside Xbox last month, I think, or the Indie Showcase last month. I think they showed it on there, and I was like, "Oh, that looks nice," and then it's out today.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking on. I just Google searched it because I saw it, and obviously I know we were watching it on E3, and it was like. Oh, this looks interesting, and yes, I just googled it, and it's on PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Microsoft Windows Linux operating systems, and Xbox One. So it's quite interesting also that it's come to Game Pass day and date, because it looks like it's gone out everywhere today. But I think it's obviously you have to pay for it on PlayStation, I would assume. So no, I mean. Frustrating for me was the fact that it hadn't turned up on the Game Pass app,
right?
And I think Manny, whilst we've been podding, has put on WhatsApp group that he couldn't find it. What is it, sort of thing? And because you'd message saying it's on Game Pass, and I'm like, ooh, I'll download that and have a quick spin. Excuse the pun. Before we start to pod, and I was up on the M25. I'd stopped to get a coffee at one of the lovely driving coffee places, and I was quickly had a look, and it's like it's not on the Game Pass app, so I couldn't set it to download, which was annoying. But I've got to say, the Game Pass app, I've just. Last week, listening to the pod, you were talking about World War Z. Straight on the app, download. About however long later, notification on the app comes up saying World War Z has been downloaded to your Xbox. So that's brilliant. But no, I'm gonna download it after we finish on the pod, because I didn't want it to affect my bandwidth in the house. But it does look fun. I mean, I love the look of it at E3, and what you said about it definitely makes me want to play it.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And I think the kind of the best thing about it is it also has leaderboards as well. So I saw
James's comment.
When you complete the first complete the first run, the first run of every new course isn't timed. But when you once you've done it once, you then unlock beginner, and that's when it's timed, and then you get to kind of do it. I was looking. I think I did my first one. I think the first timed run I did was 3 minutes, and when I was looking at the top score, it was something like 1 minute 45 or 1 minute 36, and I was like, holy moly. It seems to be the same person again and again, so I don't know if they were the dev team or something like that. So they should take their scores off the leaderboard, I think, before the game's released. But it was really cool. Like I say, it looks absolutely so there's leaderboards on this, which is always going to be fun. But I just really like it, and I think I'm the same as you. I don't think it still hasn't appeared in the Game Pass app, but what I did and what I've done before is I go over to the Xbox app and then just search for that game there, and then you can download it. I think it's about a 700 meg download, so it's not that big, shouldn't take too long. And it's really cool. It's really good. So that's Lonely Mountains Downhill. Did you say it's coming to the Switch as well?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've shut the window now, but it looked as if it was the Kickstarter one, it looked like they were saying delivery about July last year. But the if I let me see if I can bring it back up again.
I'm just going to Thunderful Games. That's the development team behind this, because I kind of feel that if this was something that was coming to the Switch, the Switch would always be my training ground for Lonely Mountains Downhill. It would be just like.
I mean, it definitely. When I searched it on Google, it definitely said, all the platforms, including Windows and Mac.
Yeah. No, they've got it. They've got it on there. I don't know if it's out on the Switch today, but it definitely has up the top here. Release date October 2019. Platforms: PC, Mac, Linux, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Very cool. Very cool.
Definitely have to play that.
So yeah, if you got Game Pass, we'll get to some new games in a moment on Game Pass. But if you got Game Pass, give it a try, because it is just fun. It is just really fun, especially that first level. That first level's gorgeous. It just looks so good. Anyway, right, so that's what we've been playing. So let's jump into the news. But don't forget, you can rate, review, and subscribe to this very podcast for free on iTunes, Spotify, and also on YouTube. So in the news section this week, Xbox allows you to change your gamer tag to anything you want. 2 Point Hospital unfortunately gets a delay on consoles, and also we have some great games that are coming to Game Pass very soon. But Stu, the first piece of news, sir, is with you.
Yeah, it can't leave us, Antony. We stood there for 2 hours, and the first bit of news is about Avengers.
Yes.
So I, like many people, sort of wondered how Avengers was going to play out. Apart from what we saw at E3, it's sort of like, well, how does this play? How do we play as the characters? And then I think it was either last week or the week before, it was announced that Miss Marvel was going to be the Kamala Khan was going to be the main protagonist role in Avengers.
Yes.
So basically, on the IGN's website, there's a little brief bit today to say why Kamala Khan was chosen for Marvel Avengers protagonist role. So it reads, Crystal Dynamics has offered little more insight into why they chose Miss Marvel as the protagonist for Marvel's Avengers over more well-known superheroes. Talking to IGN at EGX 2019, we were there, where Virgin Media held the UK's first play of Marvel Avengers. Senior producer Rose Hunt explained that Kamala Khan was chosen because her personality was very relatable to people playing, and her lack of history in the studio gave them more freedom when crafting her role. Then she goes on, when Marvel brought Kamala Khan up as a possibility, we were super excited about her, says Hunt, because she's a fangirl like us. She's a fan of the Avengers like the whole world is. So we thought it would be super relatable character to be our protagonist. It goes on, but I just thought that's brilliant. It's a great way to bring that. I think everybody was wondering why, and I think they've done it perfectly. I mean, I think that it's not a well-known character to everybody else, so everybody who's going to buy this game for the fact that they can play Iron Man, I mean, hell, everybody was talking about Iron Man when the name escapes me now. What was the flying game? The one that didn't do too well just recently came out.
Anthem.
Anthem, that's it. Yeah. And everybody said, "Oh, it's a bit like flying like Iron Man." And I think that it's a great role to bring in. So you're not having to play one of the main characters. They can be so much more open with this character, and they're probably not walled by the fact that if you played as one of the film characters, but maybe one of the like Pepper Pot or something like that, the side characters, then it's a lot more governed than she was. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really good choice. With Kamala Khan being kind of in the opening scene, she kind of inhales the gas, which kind of gives her those superpowers. So she has superpowers as well, which is great. But I kind of feel, I don't know about you, but I kind of feel that we're going to, similar to Spider-Man, where Miles Morales was kind of in it every now and then, where Mary Jane Watson was in it every now and then. I kind of feel it's going to be kind of similar to that, where we'll be Ms. Marvel for a while, but then we'll jump into Thor. What we played, there's no way they're going to create a mechanic so good that you never get to play Thor again, because people will go bananas, and also it's a waste of tech. So I kind of feel that Kamala Khan's going to bridge that, and with her Biggin abilities, there's some really fun stuff that we can do there. So like I say, when I saw this, I was very giddy and very excited about kind of that as a great way to just, it's a new character. I remember the first time we spoke about this, I think it was James, because he was asking about the difference between the MCU face and these guys. And I said, well, for me, it doesn't matter, because, I pick up comic books every week. The Avengers look different in every comic book. They look, it's that art style. But having Kamala Khan is in there. Anyone who is just going to the cinema to see Marvel doesn't know this character, so it gives you that kind of, there's your comfort zone and your kind of buy-in, and then once you're playing the game, you're kind of hooked on all the different aesthetics. So I just think this is a genius move, and I think it's one that is just gonna just enhance this game and just make this game stellar. And I think looking at all of the artwork and all of the material, they plan to do this right from the start. So this isn't backlash from any of the critics at E3 or anything like this. This is something that was planned, but they just chose to kind of keep that beat for, I think it was like New York Comic Con, or because she's from New Jersey, Kamala Khan's from New Jersey. So I think they kind of chose to keep it there for that beat. So I just think it's genius. It's just another reason why I want to get my mitts on this game, the whole game, not just the 25-minute slice.
Well, I think we both felt that opening scene at the demo we played was great, because it scratched your Avengers itch straight away. You got to play as the key characters, or some of the key characters, straight away. You got to feel what they were like for the 5-10 minutes you were playing that scene. So I think if it is the same, and that is the beginning of the game, which obviously we all think it is, then it has the cut scene of where it goes 5 years in the future, like they showed us at E3, and then they bring in the Miss Marvel character, then that just brings it together. The fact that, as you said, you'll play Miss Marvel, you'll do this, she has got some super abilities, brilliant, but then it will go to a cutscene, and then you'll pick up as Tony Stark, or then you'll pick up as the Hulk, so it's just got everything written over it to be a great game. So looking forward to it. So, what about yourself?
Absolutely.
Next story with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's it's always a bit of a bittersweet one when we hear that a game we're looking forward to gets delayed. But at the same time, we kind of want these games to be as good as they can be. So we don't want them just to kind of to be dead on the operating table. And this is, so we had news this week that 2 Point Hospital has been delayed until the first half of 2020. So news came via Eurogamer, and the studio reported admitted, to put simply, making a management simulation game on 3 consoles and making it the best you can for all 3 is a really tricky programming puzzle, explained the developer of 2 Point Studios in a blog post that they put up today. So what they're going to do is they have basically just said, we've looked at what we need to do, and we're going to just take a little bit longer. And so what they've done is they have delayed 2 Point Hospital for consoles only. It's already out on PC, but they've delayed it until the first half of 2020. And they go on to say, I know people will be disappointed with this news, but hopefully you will understand why we're doing it, and quality is the most important thing. And I just think they're absolutely spot on. It's kind of, this game looks a ton of fun on PC. I can't wait to kind of jump in. And so, but then I'm happily, my gaming calendar is chock-a-block. If this game came out in November, December, which I think it was due to come out, I probably wouldn't give it the time and attention needed on Switch or on Xbox. So for me, I'm happy to wait to 2020, let the guys work on it, do the quality that they need, and then just kind of take it from there. Because, the people behind 2 Point Hospital, they have a pedigree for this. They are the guys that they did Theme Park, Dungeon Keeper, the old Theme Hospital, and these are all the people that are behind Bullfrog, and also I think ex-Lionhead as well. So when Lionhead Software shut down years ago, these guys broke away and they kind of made, and 2 Point Hospital was the first thing that they made. And so I can't wait to play this game, but I'm happy to wait until 2020 and let the guys kind of have the time they need to bring the quality they need. But yeah, I thought it was just worthwhile kind of just mentioning it and kind of putting it out there.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, no one wants a game delayed, but if it's delayed for the good of the game and the gaming experience, then hats off to the developers when they stand up and say, we're going to delay it. It's in the interest of everybody for us to do it. We're going to give you a great game. Then do it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Stu, next piece of news, bumper bit of Microsoft news is with you.
Yeah, so this one comes from VentureBeat. It's Xbox Live changes enable you to choose any gamer tag you want. Xbox Live is changing the way that gamer tags work. The service now enables you to change your name to whatever you want, although you will get numerical identifications to go along with that, of course. Of course, you still can't use a lot of hateful or suggestive words, and the length maxes out at 12 characters. You can change your gamer tag once for free, even if you've used your free name change in the past. Under the new scheme, any name you choose will work, but you'll have to have a hashtag followed by some numbers on PC.
Right.
On a console or mobile, you will get the name immediately followed by the numbers without the hashtag. Xbox also now supports many foreign languages. So you could go on as just J on Xbox Live. This is an example they're doing now on PC. But if someone wants to find you on the service, they'll now need to look for something like J hashtag 266. But if you go... But if this gets confusing, but if you go as J open brackets, they've written J hashtag 2666 on Xbox Live on PC, players on Xbox One and mobile and within the games are still going to see J266.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The naming system is similar to used how you communicate on Discord and Blizzard's Battle.net works. Instead of telling you that the name is taken, the service just adds unique identifier to the name. I heard, basically, the way I get this, although it's confusing, I remember someone talking about it before. I've got a feeling it might have been Major Nelson. But basically, if someone out there wants to have Major Nelson, they can't because Major Nelson's got Major Nelson.
Yeah.
But you can, if you already own the name tag like Major Nelson, that is what you see. So like, my one, General Letdown, you'll always be General Letdown. You always stay as General Letdown. But if someone else wanted the gamer name General Letdown, they can still have it. They can have it displayed, but actually on the Xbox gaming tag system, it will be General Letdown, then a series of numbers.
Yeah.
So it's stopping that whole, I wanted to use that name, but I can't because someone else has already got it. A little bit like we have with Twitter. How do you feel about it? Do you think it's good? Do you think it could be confusing? You know, there's people out there like, you know, Major Nelson, people like Ninja, who have got quite names with quite a lot of association to them. So do they need to bring out a verified service so these gaming tags are verified like they do with Twitter, or are we just reliant on people realising that's not the real Ninja they're playing with?
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. Yeah, because like I say, I can now jump on and I can be Big Sheep 1, you know, and then you know, and then James could just say, right, you can find me as Big Sheep. You search for Big Sheep, you see me, or you're playing Gears with me, you know, and I'm just there. So you know, you don't want to tarnish the good brand that is Big Sheep. But yeah, I mean, I think your verify thing kind of hits the kind of nail on the head there. I think that's kind of, you should be similar to Twitter, have a whole verification process where there's a little bit of a tick, so you know that is Major Nelson, that is, you know, Xbox P3, that is Big Sheep, you know, those kind of things. That you know that they are the originals rather than the one with just kind of a string of numbers.
Yeah, I think I did hear something today that the PlayStation have a verified gamer tag section. Apparently, I did hear of when they brought out the name changes. Was it this year? This year, someone went to change to see if they could change theirs.
Yeah,
and basically they were told that they couldn't change theirs because their name had been verified. So
what?
they would need to go around and change it and find out the person who originally verified it or something like that. But so I don't know whether that's true, but it'll be interesting to see. I can understand why they've done it, because it is frustrating when you know, I recently, about 2 years ago now, we started another business up, and one of the first things we had to do was, does the limited company name exist? Okay, to check, can we get the Facebook page? Can we get the Insta page? Can we get the Twitter page? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if all those line up as saying yes, brilliant, then that's a name you go with. Yeah. You know, but if you can't get a domain name and you can't get like the Instagram page, then it's
why?
Like, okay, do we do that differently? So, but and then keeping on with Microsoft, the next bit of news just confirms that Microsoft reconfirms all Xbox One controllers will work with Project Scarlet.
Right.
There was a tweet on the 18th of October, basically saying, been getting asked this lots. And yes, been getting this asked lots. Will the Elite version 2 controller work with the Scarlet in 2020? I'm pretty sure all Xbox One are forward compatible, open brackets, at least minimum, at least with the Bluetooth versions. Mm-hmm. Then James Shields came back saying, yep, all Xbox One controllers will be compatible. So it's just reconfirming that anybody who is going to pick up the version 2 Elite controller, which is I think next month, is going to rejoice in the fact that they're not wasting £150 on a controller that's going to have a year date on it. A little bit like, as I was saying when we went to EGX the other day, I nearly went out and bought a better, not the Astro one because it's not over here. I can't think of the company now. But I was going to buy a better version of the PlayStation controller. You know, I've got one that has the Xbox thumbs on it, so not the DualShock because I'm so used to playing Xbox. So I've got that one, but it just feels a bit cheap. So I was going to buy this better controller, but it was £150, £200 I think it was. So I sat there and I just went, well, I don't know. And actually, with what PlayStation, Sony have come out saying, I still don't know whether I'm going to be able to use this on the PS5. So, I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. So I haven't bought it. Yeah. So, just to rejoice with all the Xbox fans out there that if you are weird and you have about 30 Xbox controllers like me, I can use all of them on Project Scarlet going forward.
That's really cool. That's really cool. It's nice that they've come out and confirmed it as well, because like you say, I guess they've done that because Elite Series 2 is out very soon, so they don't want people wavering on that. So say, well, I don't know if I'll buy it because I'm going to get Scarlet, so I don't, so they probably were getting hammered with questions like that. So by being able to just kind of get in front of it, it's good PR, isn't it? Getting in front of it and going, you buy this, you'll be able to play this controller. You'll be able to play this gorgeous piece of engineering kind of when you get your Scarlet. It's quite interesting because the third party PlayStation controller I've got, I think I was talking to Steve last week, doesn't work with Concrete Genie. Because the motion's not in there. So again, it's that kind of, do we just sit and wait for and see what's coming with PlayStation 5 and Project Scarlet?
Well, that's it. I think Microsoft have had to do something, because obviously Sony have been a bit forthcoming just lately with their PlayStation news, and obviously Microsoft don't want to announce anything more at the moment. But I think they've got a major thing coming out. And if the Scarlet does have some new features to it, then fine. But yeah, there's going to be times you're going to be wanting to play a game with someone, and you've got your nice shiny Scarlet controller, and a friend comes round, or we want to play the latest FIFA or something like that. Oh, look, here's my old Elite controller, or here's my old Project Scorpio controller. Bang, fire it up, and we're working away with it. So it's just nice to see that they're forthcoming. I can't wait till XO19. I'm hoping they're going to do something at XO19, maybe a bit more news. Not a reveal, but maybe a bit more news, and we'll see what happens. But happy days. So,
absolutely.
And then the next story's with you.
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of staying on that Xbox tip, and that is just the fact that everyone's favourite subscription service, which is Game Pass, is getting some new games. So I thought it's just worthwhile, just kind of the tail end of October, start of November, and there's a whole bunch of new games. I think Major Nelson kind of posted a blog post on the 22nd, so that was yesterday as time of podding. So obviously, we've already been talking about it. It's Lonely Mountains Downhill, so that is out today. Also out today is Secret Neighbor, a follow-up to the fantastic Hello Neighbor, which I had a play of, which was always good fun. That was really good. I think that was a great kind of creep 'em up, where you got to try and kind of creep around a house without being caught by the neighbor. That was really good fun. And then tomorrow, so October 24th, we've got Minute. I think James played that on Switch when it kind of came out. So, which is, you basically just play, as the title suggests, you play 60 seconds at a time, and then you just try and do whatever you can in that 60 seconds, and then you kind of die, and then you have to kind of go again. Sounds intriguing, and being on Game Pass, I think I'll give it kind of a bit of a go. And then on Friday, Call of Duty Day, we got a biggie. We got the Outer Worlds. So on Friday, if you're not playing Call of Duty, you're probably going to be playing the Outer Worlds, because this game is getting, I would say, a majority of kind of good buzz. I think a lot of people are saying it's really great. It's great. I think a lot of people are playing on PlayStation at the moment. I think Obsidian and Private Division sent out codes for PlayStation this week, and I think a lot of people are playing on PlayStation. But obviously, where it should pop is on that Xbox One X. But I think the single player sci-fi RPG, I think it's kind of really kind of ticking a lot of boxes. I was listening to the Giant Bomb podcast just before Nicola got home this evening, and they were really loving it. They've been playing it for a while, and they were really loving it. So, which was really good to hear. So, I'll probably play this after Call of Duty and before Star Wars. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so we've got that. October 29th, another game I want to try, which is After Party.
Yeah, so this one's annoyed me slightly.
Right.
Because I bought this.
Oh, no.
I bought this, and
they've said from the start it was going to be day and date Game Pass.
I know. And it was... and I know that, and I overlooked it. So I bought it, and I've got no problems with buying it. It's only £16 or £17 less than change.
Yeah.
But it did annoy me slightly that it let me buy it, although my Xbox knows that I'm a Game Pass Ultimate member. And if I go to look or price or something or buy something, it goes, "Oh no, this is included with Game Pass. You don't get it." So
once it's out, I think it's once. Yeah,
I've paid for this, which again I'm really looking forward to it. It looks it looks really interesting, and I've heard a few interviews with the developers. And it just seems like a really interesting little game.
And for those who don't know, you play as Milo and Lola, who have recently deceased. They're kind of best friends, recently deceased. They've gone to hell, and they find a loophole in the clause where if they beat Satan at a drinking game, then they can be reborn. So that's kind of after party, and that comes out on October 29th. October 31st, you got Lego Star Wars 3. And that is I think that's the one that's around the Clone Wars. So that's that's all about the kind of Clone Wars. And then into November, you've got Subnautica, is on November the 7th. And I think that's it, really. I think that's kind of, obviously we're going to get a refresh of the quest, but I think that's kind of the blog post that Mason Nelson put up. And like as I was saying, we've also got, because Terminator is out, Gears in Terminator has kind of a character pack, and also the Horde event, which is on now until the 29th. So you've still got 6 days for that Horde event.
Did you know, looking at that article at the bottom here where it's touching on, some updates to State of Decay and things like that, did you know there was a Rocket League, there was a Stranger Things?
Yes, indeed. Yeah. You can play in the Upside Down.
Yeah, I only heard about that on another podcast driving home tonight. I don't know if it's still on. I was going to jump in and have a look tonight, and because I know it was limited. But yeah, you could play. They took one of the well-known, not maps, one of the well-known arenas, and basically turned it into the Upside Down. So I thought that's just a great idea.
Superb. It's just, I love it. I love that they've had Ghostbusters, they've had Knight Rider, they've had Batman versus Superman, Gears. There isn't a franchise that they haven't kind of taken on and put into Rocket League. I love it. It's just so cool.
Excellent.
And then the last piece of news is something that just hit just before I came up as I was eating my dinner. I just had a quick look at the news, and I saw that Fallout 76 is getting a subscription service. Now, I don't know kind of how the litmus is going out there. I should check, but we're podding. Fallout 76 have basically, they're kind of scrapping loot boxes and all that, but what they're doing is they've got a premium subscription service, and this subscription service it's £99 a year. So this is $12.99 a month, and I think this is in UK pounds. So it's $12.99 a month, and what you get is you get a private world that's exclusively for you and up to 7 friends. You get unlimited storage, a survival tent, you get a whole load of atoms, you get a ranger outfit, and you get a whole bunch of icons and emotes. So that's kind of all part of the member benefit. But what it is, in order to keep that private world going with you and 7 of your friends, you then have to pay $12.99 a month. And I don't know. I'm perplexed by this, Stu, because I don't know who is going to pay this, for more than, again, what I should have done was kind of check because they posted it up on Twitter, so I clicked on the link and added it to the show notes quick, but what I should do is probably have a look at the comments, because there might be a lot of people going, this is amazing, but for me, this is more than Game Pass, this is more than Stadia, this is more than PlayStation Now, and you're just getting one game. Like with Game Pass, I can download Fallout 76 and The Outer Worlds and Fallout 4. I can download all of those on Game Pass, and that's only costing me £8 a month, and that's Game Pass Ultimate, where this is like $12.99 a month just for this game, and I don't really know that many people playing it anymore. I think Steve dropped out, but he's going to drop back in again. But I still just I'm perplexed by this.
Yeah, I mean, I've literally just off their website now, and it's got here private worlds. The community's been asking for the ability to play in private worlds since before the launch of Fallout 76, and we're very excited to announce that they are coming to the game with Fallout First. If you're a Fallout First member, how you use your private world is completely up to you. Invite up to 7 of your friends at a time, so 8 in total in the world, to join you in taking on the dangers of post-apocalyptic West Virginia, or play completely solo. All gameplay remains the same as from adventure mode, and all the characters entered in Fallout First private world must be existing characters. Only the owner of the private world is required to be a Fallout First member. heading into your private world, open your social media, it goes on. I don't know. I think if you look at it from the get-go, you go, bloody hell, that's expensive. But then if you look at it, that actually if you split it between 8 of you and you're going to use it, then it's only actually a couple of quid each. Less than a couple of quid each. I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about Fallout to really, if you're in a game with just 8 of you in a world, is that going to get boring?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird. I think, as you say, it's very early. It's very early to see what the excuse the pun, what the fallout on Twitter is and social media from it.
Well, I've just been having a look, and and it's. I'm glad I raised it as a perplexion because the Twitter's the same. It's like, what the hell, And it's just really interesting to see kind of there is a very kind of, is this a joke kind of thing? But there must be something to be said with kind of just playing Fallout 76 with a group of friends without having other NPCs coming and taking your stuff.
Yeah, it's...
Or even not even NPCs, actually, kind of real characters. Maybe that's it. Maybe the people want those private worlds because you're out there looting and shooting, building your worlds with your team, and then, you get back to base and someone's already looted it.
Yeah, I think, actually, if there is anybody out there who is a big Fallout fan, if they can give us some feedback on the email, feedback@gamersoftheloddspark.com, I think it'll be quite interesting to hear from listeners who play Fallout to see actually, as us two Sparks don't really play the game, what people's thoughts are. Looking at some of the other pods that I'm getting told, which are being recorded at the moment and people are putting up, the latest Fallout 76 controversy is one of them. So I think it's going to be an interesting few days.
Absolutely. I'm glad I'm not the only one then that kind of just saw this and was like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, that's a definite what the hell.
Yes. Interesting. So we'll wait and see what the, as you said, using your pun, we'll wait and see what the fallout of this new Fallout subscription is. But like I say, by the time we pod next, Outer Worlds will be out. That's going to be, and that sounds like it's going to be, like I say, it's getting some good buzz at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see what that's like. But yeah, well, okay, Bethesda. It's like they'll probably be apologising again next E3, going, "Sorry, we shouldn't have done that. It's now free to play." And that's
there seems to be a lot of apologies in gaming over this year. This is 2019 is the year of the apology, I think.
Yes. We had 2018 was a really good year for gaming, and 2019 is just gaming apologies. So instead of game of the year, we'll have gaming apology of the year. Yeah. Who apologised the best?
And then 2020 is the year of the new shinies. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And a new Batman game. Anyway, right. That's about it for this episode. Big thank you for listening. Stu, awesome. Thanks for pulling up a mic, sir.
Anytime, my EGX buddy.
Excellent stuff. Don't forget you can keep up with us at gamerslotspark.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter where we're at Lost Spark Pod. Stu, where can people catch up with you? I couldn't get my words out then. Where can people catch up with you, sir?
You can get me on Xbox mainly and PSN as General Letdown or Mr. Stuart Burgess on Twitter.
Excellent stuff from me. I am Chessman on Xbox Live and Nintendo Switch, PS-Chessman on the PlayStation Network and Chessman UK on Twitter. Don't forget, as Stu said, if you have any feedback or if you just want to share kind of what this Fallout First means to you, then send it to our email address. That's feedback@gamersoftheloddspark.com. That's about it. I'm going to go and spray some walls. Just leaving it at that.
I'm not even going to ask why. I think I can work out. But yes, goodbye.
Bye.